Everything I'm about to go over may have worked differently in previous games. This video is based on how things work in Scarlet and Violet. First up, how Pokemon inherit their natures. The Everstone will actually force the offspring Pokemon to have the same nature as its parent. I tested this by taking a brave Spanish Mightiest Incineroar male, gave it an Everstone, and a timid English Mightiest Delphox female, and gave it a Destiny Knot. Yeah, the reason for the Destiny Knot and Spanish Incineroar is I was hoping for a perfect IV shiny. Sadly, no shinies at all. I'm fairly certain at this point the Masuda method is bugged, especially considering how many Fennekins I wound up going through. A full box of all Fennekins had a brave nature. Only 5 were perfect IV, all male, which I suppose is not actually important for this video, it just mildly annoyed me. I also reversed it just to be sure and gave the Incineroar the Destiny Knot and Delphox the Everstone. This caused all Fennekins to be born with a timid nature. I then tested giving both parents an Everstone. This caused the inherited nature to be about 50-50. It was, however, always one of the two parents' natures. So yeah, after testing fairly thoroughly, I can confidently say that a single parent holding an Everstone will pass on its nature, and both holding one will randomly pass on one of the two parents' natures. Mints don't affect this, by the way, so I'm afraid there's no changing a parent's nature with one and then breeding to get the new nature. This is a stark difference to the Destiny Knot, which takes a total of 5 random IVs from both parents and gives them to the offspring, which means you still have to get lucky with that last IV to have a perfect IV Mon. Now, on to breeding abilities. Starting with non-hidden abilities. If you have a female Pokemon with a non-hidden ability breed with a male Pokemon of the same species, or either gendered Mon breed with a Ditto, there is a very high chance, somewhere in the 80-ish% range, that the offspring has the mother or non-Ditto Mon's ability. If your parent Mon has multiple non-hidden abilities, there seems to be a very small chance of the non-active ability being inherited. On to hidden abilities. Breeding all those Fennekins showed me that a Pokemon can in fact inherit a hidden ability, as a decent amount of said Fennekins were hatched with their hidden ability Magician. Seems roughly 50-50, honestly. The female parent does have to have said ability, though, because if they don't, the offspring cannot inherit a hidden ability. I have tested it with 2 Blaze Fennekins. The result was solely Blaze Fennekins. This is partially because Fennekin only has one non-hidden ability. If you don't have a female with the hidden ability, you can breed a male with said ability with a Ditto for the same results. On to how Pokeballs are inherited, because many of us want a specific Pokemon in a specific rare ball. What I'm about to go over, however, does not affect the Master Ball, Cherish Ball, or Strange Ball. For the purposes of Pokeball inheritance, the games treat them as standard classic Pokeballs. Also, sadly, after even more thorough testing, the Everstone does not affect this, which means I won't be getting my Premier Ball Sprigatito anytime soon. Okay, on to how this actually works. If the Pokemon are both different species, then the Pokeball that is inherited will, as far as I can tell, always be the female Pokemon's Pokeball. If one Pokemon is a Ditto, then regardless of the other Pokemon's gender, the Pokeball inherited will default to the non-Ditto's Pokeball. If both Pokemon are different genders, and the same species, the Pokeball inherited will randomly be one of the two parents' Pokeballs. On an interesting note, the games treat 2 regional forms of the same Pokemon breeding as the same Pokemon species for purposes of Pokeball inheritance. For instance, an Alolan Sandshrew and a Kanto Sandshrew would be treated as simply 2 Sandshrews, and the Pokeball would randomly be one of the parents' Pokeballs. Well, that's all I wanted to go over in this video, so I'll just say, thank you for listening to my inane ramblings.